All right, guys, good Tuesday morning. I got one more for you today, maybe another one later in the day, but let me jump in here. So I'm doing AMZ and NVDY, and I'll probably add Tesla as well, and then maybe even AMD, because I really like AMD. Okay, let's jump in since I'm starting this like AMZ. I'm just starting it after ex-dividend date. So start doing the accounting going forward. Again, I think that YIELDMAX does it on the monthly, but I've always been doing it around the ex-dividend date. So I'll just keep doing that. Ends up being close. It all comes out in the wash. So what are some of the trades? Well, on 7/5 ex-dividend day, they wrote a new series of contracts. So those were 63,315 contracts written at $1.37 at the strike price of 132. So where are we at Nvidia and Nvidia? Well, Nvidia is trading on 7/5 at 125.82, and on Monday it went up to 128.2, so it was up 1.89. And Nvidia, the YIELDMAX fund, was up 1.81, so pretty close there. And then they put on an additional, because people are buying into the fund, right? These are relatively cheap, not as cheap as the crypto, the Bitcoin oriented guys, but still, anytime you take out the dividend, right, 247, which was, I think, the highest dividend payout because Misty was like 233. So what we have there is new income, right? Almost it's 8,900,000 and something. Here's the share count. So we had 27,800,000. We went up 1 million, sorry, 2,150,000, which is massive, right? 7.73%. I think only Coney and Misty may have been a higher percentage. But again, because those guys are really on sale, NVIDIA's not so much on sale. It's just down some, but it's really been rocking the charts. I mean, the stock market is NVIDIA right now. So that's really why so many people have been asking me to do it. They like the way I run my channel. So how can I say no ultimately? I probably have a limit of about 10, maybe 12, not only a mental or physical limit, but just what I really want to cover. I don't want to cover anything that I don't like and I don't know. So probably Snowy will be another one, AMD, probably move in that direction. Plus, I'm going to start closely covering other funds besides YIELDMAX. YIELDMAX's not the only game in town. They're certainly one of the high yielders, and I like their products. But as I started to touch on Roundhill and Defiance and Curve and Granite, SoFi, I'll be doing more and more on that stuff for you guys. All right, so I jumped in here with what they sold and potential income. Let's go take a look at the weekly, and then I'll show you the synthetics that they put on. Here's a summary of the weekly. So they have 65,540 contracts. They've collected 8.916 million for almost 9 million. And so far, they're 13.87% into that collection process, right? The implied volatility, since I'm new doing this, I computed all these. So fairly low. I was surprised at Nvidia. I was thinking they were more like the cryptos being kind of the market leader, but the reality is it's lower. I mean, they're able to pull good money out because the stock's performing so well. So you see everything was up. This is interesting. I'm always doing this for you guys. So this is your 52-week low and high. I don't always talk about it, but especially when I do a new fund, this is really good. So you can say, how close to Nvidia, how close is Nvidia to its all-time high? What's the low? 1763. The all-time high is 3008. So 39.23 here on the underlying and up to 140. We all saw that run. And here's implied volatility, right? The 30-day implied volatility. It's been as high as 68 and as low as 32, and we're at 48. So this kind of gives you an idea of what's going on there. So let's look at holdings. So again, I don't think you hear too much about cash and so forth, but in their synthetic, they just rolled into this 127. So when you go back beyond a couple days, these numbers aren't relevant. They had a different strike price, and I wasn't covering them, but I have all the data that I've been collecting on their previous strike price. So again, we closed at 28.10 and fair value was 28.04. So pretty close there. Now you can see the granular here, right? This one they've captured 1387 on the big 132. So they're still 3% or so out of the money. Let's see what they sold that one for. Yeah, 137. So that was a nice position by the fund manager. And then as they decided to go out another dollar and ladder a different strike price, they probably could have gone higher. Um, but I like to see positive money when I've been dealing with a lot of the BTC ones. You know, these are losing positions, so you can see why Nvidia's the goat right now in sort of the stock market. So that'll be kind of fun to report on something that's doing well. Hey, it's doing well till it isn't, right? Until the Nasdaq gets hit in general. But I'm sure Nvidia will. You know, their margins should stay high for another couple of years. It's hard for people to catch up, but eventually, as I often say, in the hardware market, people catch you way faster than the software market. So they will get caught and they will still be the leader, but their ability to get, 90% margins on the hardware will evaporate. It'll probably be 30 to 40, much more realistic within 18 months is my guess. So it's just the life of hardware. I saw it for 40 years. I was in hardware and software, but always, and always was hardware delivered with software. Okay, guys, so what else? Let's talk about we went over holding. Let's talk about the payments. So in the payments, this 556 is the synthetic, and I didn't show that, but here it is. So they put on 2,225 to match those sold calls, and here it is. These sold calls, oops, I enhanced this to make it a little bit bigger and it cut into, that one wasn't showing at all. So here's where the 556 loss came from when they bought, right? Because these are operating on, oh, you can see I used a coin one and just overlaid this and thought I had all the data here, but obviously there were a few things missing. So apologize for that. When you set up something new, this should be 58 here. Yeah, and that gives me the current price. Okay, so they're 94%, 94 of 1% above the strike price. So when you go above, you're typically paying more for the calls and you're getting less for the puts. When you're below the strike price, it's the opposite. So they rolled into this 127. If they keep moving up, they'll make money on the synthetic. But that's why you see a loss in this brand new one for this month of 556. And then over here, you see this 9.1 million collected. So when we go to the payments, those are reflected here, right? You've got your 8.9 and you have your 556 loss. So that on the sheet, and this is a nice start, just like Misty. I'll probably label this good start for Nvidia for the month, right? Because they've made 30 cents on the short call and they lost a couple cents on total income, so they have total income of 28 cents, right? um, on 20, almost 30 million. They're going to give Coin a run for their money, but or Coney. But I think with Coney being cheap, more people are going to pile in there with it cheap. But my market cap position, Nvidia is the goat for sure. When you're 30 million and your price is 28, it's a lot more than 32 or 33 million on a 19 or $20 stock. So that's the market cap value. Remember, I did that assets under management chart for you guys. Okay, that's all I got for you. I need to get into the market itself. So again, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. It's for fun and entertainment. Hope you're going to like NVIDIA along with AMZ. Okay, bye for now.